Natalie. Thank you, Ignite Philly. This is really going to be fun for me because I give tours of the rail park that are like an hour and a half to 2 hours long. I give public speaking engagements that are like a half an hour with Q&A, and I've got 5, we're all right to say this, fucking minutes to do this. So that's me. So the one thing I want you to take away with tonight is this thought. Wow, this could be really transformational. That's what I want you to take away tonight. So everybody's familiar with the concept of the rail park, and most people think it's about the viaduct, but it's not. It's about this 3-mile vision. This 3-mile vision that came into being after the idea of the Reading Viaduct project and creating a rail park on the viaduct similar to the High Line in New York, because it's not like the High Line in New York. The High Line is a 1.5 mile long elevated structure that's 2 tracks wide. Our site is 3 miles long, and it's much more like the Promenade Planté in Paris because it has elevated sections, it has street-level sections, below street-level sections, and some extraordinary tunnels. And it connects 10 distinct neighborhoods to Fairmount Park and Center City. And not only is it an extraordinary site that's the confluence of these 2 former Reading Railroad lines, but it's 4 tracks wide. And there's room for bicycles, pedestrian pathways, gathering spaces, cafes. It has a lot more potential than anything you've ever seen before on the High Line. And it connects 10 distinct neighborhoods to Fairmount Park and Center City. So from Brewery Town all the way over to Poplar and Northern Liberties and all the way down to Center City. And there they are before your eyes. It's a transformational project that needs more momentum. The viaduct is a section that you're most familiar with. It's in the Chinatown North Callow Hill neighborhood, former industrial section, and that's where phase 1 is under construction right now, a little itty-bitty quarter-mile section that's going to be a taste for the city to see the potential of this site, and that's going to open in the first quarter of 2018. Here's some images. Yes, elevated, beautiful, wide. Look at that width. And what's amazing about this site, we're twice the length and twice the width of the High Line. The amazing thing about that site, well, there's a lot of amazing things about it. The cut is really interesting. It runs from the Inquirer building, which is in that photograph there, all the way to behind the Rodin Museum. 30-foot tall stone walls, about 50 feet wide, and it goes right through the community college. And this site itself happens to thread through the Perlman building, the Museum of Art, the Rodin, the Free Library, the Barnes, the community college, into all the wonderful cultural organizations. But the tunnel is the most interesting section of the site, running from behind the Rodin to 27th Street. It is extraordinary, 50-foot wide vaulted brick ceilings, and these wonderful air and light shafts that come through the median of Pennsylvania Avenue. This is that important intersection between the cut and the tunnel. And then this next image is one of my favorites because the tunnel is really year-round programming, sound installations, lighting installations. But most importantly, we want to change the way people move through the city. We're going to have bicycle lanes and pedestrian lanes. There's pathway, think about it. People who live in Fairmount right now might never consider getting on a bike and driving into Center City, but they might if there's a beautiful, safe pathway to do that. Phase 1 is a section in the images that's opening in early 2016. The Center City District has been instrumental in designing that. There's an aerial rendering. And this next image shows a former diner car, the Steak and Bagel train, which Conrail owns. And they offered to give it to us, but we don't want to. We're going to have them given to the city of Philadelphia, contingent on a lease to us once we raise the $350,000 to renovate it and activate it and make it a public and community engagement space. So all that's going on right now, and along with knowing that this project needs more momentum, it needs 2 other things. Well, 3 things altogether. One is remember, wow, this could be transformational. And the other thing that I wanted you to take away with is the 2 things that you can do, and that's advocate and donate. Advocate and donate. Advocate and donate. Thank you very much. Really helped.